Okay, in this video we are going to find the area between curves where there are multiple regions involved. So we're specifically going to deal with y equals x cubed minus 3x squared and also y equals x minus 3. So that's what we're going to deal with. And the way that I like to start these problems is to actually try to find the intersection points, because that can tell you a lot about what the graph looks like. I have a sense of what both of these graphs look like, but I'm not sure exactly how they interact. So I'm going to find their intersections first. So that involves setting y equal to y. So we have this. I'm going to move everything to one side. So I get x cubed minus 3x squared minus x plus 3 equals 0. I can factor this by grouping. So I'm going to take an x squared out of the first two things. I'm going to take a negative 1 out of the second two things. And then I can take an x minus 3 out of both of these things. When I get here, and then x squared minus 1 factors. And so there's a little bit of algebra before you even start this problem. And so the intersections occur when x is 3, when x is negative 1, and when x is 1. Alright, so now I have a lot more information. I'm going to use that to kind of start my graph. So here, first interesting point is that x equals negative 1. So when x is negative 1, take it and plug it into either of the equations, you will get negative 4. So let's plot a point at negative 1, negative 4. And then at x equals positive 1, when x is positive 1, y is negative 2 for both of our curves. And then when x is equal to 3, y is equal to 0 for both of our curves. Okay, so I have a good idea of what the cubic looks like. It has a bounce at x equals 0, and then it's a positive cubic, so it starts low and ends high. So I'm just going to weave it through all the points that I know, and I'll kind of do this. And then y equals x minus 3 is just linear, so if I just go through the 3 points, I did a pretty good job of hitting the y-intercept there. So that's our figure, and we're trying to find the area of the region bounded by these two curves, and you can see there's actually two regions. So the first one is here, where the cubic is on top, and so that's one region. And then the second region is here, where the linear curve is on top. So when I want to find this overall area, I'm going to have to do one of two things. Or, well, there's a lot of options. But let me just label up these points. So negative 1, negative 4 is one of them. And then 1, negative 2. And then 3, 0. So we have a really nice picture. And now we can think about finding this area. So if I have access to a calculator, one option that I can definitely use is to just throw an absolute value into this. So I could do the integral from the first intersection to the last, which would be from negative 1 all the way up to positive 3 of the absolute value of, and then I'm just going to do the cubic minus the linear. I could do the linear minus the cubic. It wouldn't make a difference. And what will happen here is that the absolute value and the calculator will take care of everything, and you'll get your area right away. So this is really a calculator option, or you might see this on multiple choice if you're taking like the AP exam. But this, from a personal standpoint, isn't that useful to me, especially because I already have the picture. So I don't like to mess around with absolute values. What I would rather do is I'd rather think about it and just work out two separate integrals that I'm going to add up at the end. So here, I'm going to do the integral from negative 1 to 1 of the cubic is on top, so the cubic minus the linear. So the linear is on the bottom, so minus the linear. And then that's with respect to x. And then to that, I'm going to add a second integral that goes from 1 to 3. So 1 is the first intersection, 3 is the second, of the linear is on top, so it's the linear, and then minus the cubic. And then all of that is with respect to x. Okay, so this is the option that I would choose to do by hand. So what I'm going to do is kind of distribute negative signs. So basically I'm just going to rewrite this so it looks a little simpler. So we get this. Still two separate integrals. And then we get this. I'm not going to bother rearranging that second integrand. Negative x cubed plus 3x, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to bother with that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to label each of these and do each one separately. So the first one, I'm going to find some antiderivatives. So it's 1/4 x to the 4th minus x cubed minus 1/2 x squared plus 3x. And we're going from negative 1 to 1. And first thing I do here is substitute in the 1. So it's the quantity 1/4 minus 1 minus 1/2 plus 3. Minus, I'm going to substitute -1. So I get 1/4 plus 1 minus 1/2 minus 3. And then if you look through this, as you simplify it, like I don't recommend that you simplify the first set of parentheses, then simplify the second, and then combine them. Like look at both of them as you go through. Because if you see, you have a 1/4 and a minus 1/4, so those are gone. You have a -1 minus 1, so that's -2. But then you have a -1/2 minus -1/2, but that's -1/2 plus 1/2, so that's gone. Then you have 3 minus -3, which is 3 plus 3, so 6. So you really just have -2 plus 6. So overall, this is 4, and you didn't have to bother with simplifying everything. Definitely recommend that. All right, that's our first integral. So we also have to find the second one, and then we're going to add them together. So antiderivative again. So 1/2 x squared minus 3x minus 1/4 x to the 4th plus x cubed. That's just reversing the power rule a lot. Then we're going to go from 1 to 3. So first we plug in 3, and we get 9/2 minus 9 minus 81/4 plus 27. So that would be really annoying to simplify, but we're not going to. We're going to evaluate at the lower bound and see what kind of simplifies together. So plugging in 1, we get 1/2 minus 3 minus 1/4 plus 1. So that doesn't seem super useful, but it turns out to be useful. So this is all going to be equal to. So taking the first thing in each set of parentheses, so 9/2, and then it's minus 1/2, that's 8/2, so that's 4. And then we have minus 9, and then minus -3, so overall that's minus 6. Negative 81/4 minus -1/4, so that's negative 81/4 plus 1/4. Negative 80/4 is negative 20, and then 27, and then minus 1 is 26. So you get 4 minus 26 plus 26, so you actually just get 4 again. So it turns out that after doing all this work, right, we sketch the region, get nice intersection points. If we have a calculator, we can use the absolute value option, which is great. If we don't have a calculator, we're better off looking at the figure and working out our two separate integrals. But when we find each of their areas, it turns out my picture isn't super good because they should have exactly the same area, and the total area that we get here is just 8, so 4 plus 4. All right, so that's how we can deal with it when there's multiple regions or multiple intersection points, or more than 2 intersection points, I guess I should say. I hope you found this helpful, and good luck.